You are listening to the Delay and Pray podcast, episode number 44.
Welcome to the Delay and Pray podcast, where certified Catholic and weight loss coach Beth teaches you how to permanently lose weight through spiritual fasting. Get ready to gain faith and lose weight through a joyful transformation of both body and soul. Now, your host, Beth, the Catholic fasting coach.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Oh my goodness. We had an amazing event this week called the Hungry for God virtual dinner party. The table was set, the guests were invited, and hundreds of people RSVP'd. It was a blast. It was a webinar of sorts, a creative dinner theme type of party with lots of party flair, including amazing food cooked up just right for metabolic flexibility. And of course, as you know, this helps you to spiritually fast. We not only had some good food, but we had some wonderful conversation and information with experts on spiritual fasting, coaching, and the sacraments. Because as we know, the sacrament is really the real true food. So one of the best features of the whole night, I thought, was the ending, and I'd like to share it with you today. This was the dessert course, the finale of the event, and it was so good. During this course, I invited 4 of my Rockstar alumni clients who went through the Delay and Pray group coaching experience and who are now in the membership program to speak at the dinner party. And just to let you know, the membership is offered after the 12-week coaching experience ends with the goal of keeping all of my clients spiritually fasting for a lifetime by weekly live coaching, teachings, and community help. So that is what the membership is. And these phenomenal membership women share their stories of how they found Delay and Pray, the weight they lost, the miracles they found, and the absolute best parts of their investment. So get ready for lots of laughs, a few tears, and some life-changing moments as these women talk about how hungry for God they are now. I hope you enjoy the segment. We have come to our last course of the night and our dinner party, and this is the grand finale. And I'm so excited to have some former clients and some clients here that they're actually alumni, and they're in the membership portion. And the membership portion comes after you actually take the course. So you take the course and then you have an option to drop into the Keep Fasting membership. So I've just got some women here that want to share their stories and just their experiences of just how wonderful spiritual fasting is. So I thank them so much. I'm gonna bring them on in just 1 second. I just have to show you my dessert. It's kind of melty over here. It's kind of been sitting out. But anyway, this right here is, you can see it? Okay, this is the mixed berries, and this is homemade whipped cream. And the recipe said monk fruit. I don't use monk fruit. I use 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar, which 1 teaspoon isn't that bad. And it's just tasty enough with berries. And I use frozen blueberries and all of that. But anyway, this is a really good Sunday treat. And this is pretty big, by the way, but I needed to show you. So this would probably, in my life, serve about 3 people. All right. Without further ado, I am going to bring down my amazing clients here. Okay. Awesome. Hi, guys. How are you?
Okay. Hi, great, Beth.
Yeah.
Got my sparkling water.
Oh, your sparkling water. Yes. Love it. Well, I am going to just introduce you guys, and I'm just going to go around. We've got Jackie and Jenay and Stefanie and Nikki, and everybody kind of has a different story to tell. And so we're just going to take a few minutes, and I'll bring up something too that because I kind of know about each one of you too. It's very, very different. So I just want you to share a little 5-minute story about yourself and your weight loss and possibly some miracles, because we've all had miracles, and then we'll kind of all go into a conversation at the end. So Jackie, would you like to start us off?
I would love to. Thank you. So background, so raised Catholic. I was raised Catholic by a single mom, and I was away from the Catholic Church for many years, probably 25 years. And I say that I'm sharing that because I want people who are away from the church to know how much fasting can change your life. So I came to spiritual fasting in January, Beth, really focused on the weight loss. And I had read the Eat Fast Feast book. I don't remember anything about the spiritual part in there. I've reread it recently. There's a lot of spiritual part, but I was so focused on the weight loss. The game changer for me was the spiritual growth. I lost close to 30 pounds in about 4.5 months, I guess, 4 or 5 months. And this has just been a game changer for me to rev up my bring a radical reorientation to my Catholicism, the miracles. 29 out of 30. I wrote 30 things back in February. 29 of those have happened. And then there's innumerable miracles that I didn't even put on my list that are happening. And it's just popping up. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me. And I am I'm not a coach. I know we've got a lot of coaches here, and I love that because I can steep in that and just simmer in it and learn so much. I'm a mathematician and I work in corporate America. So love this opportunity to talk with smart coach people.
Oh, and Jackie, you got coached. Jackie has no problem getting coached. She's very, very courageous, and she gets her money's worth. She gets up there and she gets coached and helps everyone else, because in group coaching, just watching other people getting coached, you get coached, so that's why the replays are great. And you've been so courageous getting up there and sharing your story and letting me coach you, and it's absolutely been a joy. Also, I remember the emails that you sent to me before joining, and you were like, okay, I'm a fallen away Catholic, am I allowed to come in?
Yeah.
You're the Catholic fasting coach. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, come in, Jackie. And I have a Protestant in right now, and that wants to know more about the Catholic faith. And so it's interesting. Mm-hmm. It is for Catholics, but it's also, if you want to hone in on your faith and just really delve into the spiritual fasting aspects according to the Catholic faith. So thank you, Jackie, for taking that plunge, and we'll get more of your story in just a few minutes. All right, Jenay, you're next.
Hey, hi. I'm excited to be here. I'm Jenay. I'm married to Chris for about 14 years. We have 4 kids. They're between 4 and 11 years old. And also I'm a lifelong Catholic, also a lifelong perfectionist. And that was one of the things that really drew me to this program as well. I'm also kind of here because of Lisa and Aaron. That's how I met you, Beth, and got to know about your program, and actually consulted both of them before joining, because I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for Beth, because you're like fire, and I love it. I love the fire. But I was a little nervous because this was last summer, and I was coming off of probably some of the hardest 6 months of my life. And the last thing I wanted was to suffer more by giving up food. And that was my thought. Obviously, we worked on that in coaching. So in October, I joined. I was the heaviest I had ever been, weight-wise. So I was a little over 200 pounds, and or at least not 9 months pregnant. I'll put it that way. And so I lost in about 5 months, I lost about 50 pounds. And since then I've lost under 10. So I'm sitting at about 60-pound loss right now. And I've been able to maintain through the program. And really my experience, also I joined because I had been diagnosed with something like an autoimmune disorder called mast cell activation syndrome, and was working with a naturopath. And I knew, because I had a disordered diet history of trying different things, and I didn't like where I went with it. Being a perfectionist, being so prone to anxiety and worry and depression and all of those things, I really wanted to take care of my mind, because as you mentioned, or maybe I am a coach, and I had been in coaching for a little long enough to know, I was like, I need my mind to be in order as I make this journey. And so that's one of the reasons why I knew that I wanted to have you on my team and this community of women on my team, as I attempted to lose the weight and follow a diet plan, or just a way of eating that was going to be good for my body, and achieve metabolic flexibility, which is what you were talking about with Jay earlier. And that was really my goal, was to get to that point. And then since then have had a few different episodes of different seasons that have been harder than others, and have been sick. But some of the miracles, I guess, that I saw happen as well was just, I have gotten a lot more answers on what's going on with my body, why I've been so sick. I also was fasting for my daughter, who was going through some health issues at the time as well. She was also diagnosed with the same thing at the same time as me and was having a lot of stomach pains, and we weren't really sure what was causing it. And that has pretty much resolved. And just lots of other things. Even my husband has gotten really into fasting. He wasn't super on board at the time. He was supportive of me, but not necessarily for himself. And even he's gotten on board with fasting, and we have made it a part of our family culture to include fasting for others, through our food, like being able to offer those things up and joining with a lot more of the seasons of the church, as you were talking about, like with no meat on Fridays and things like that. And so those are some things that we've incorporated into our family culture as well. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's been my journey with you. I feel still like a new faster. I've been at this almost a year, and I feel like I can definitely be on the new faster bandwagon, because every time like a new thing comes up, I'm like, yep, still need it. Still need all the concepts right here.
Listen, Jenay, I'm a new faster. Like, I'm going through that Eat Fast Feast book with the book club, and I'm thrilled with just like the depth of where I can go now in, what is it, like year 3, year 4. And I think this is a deep spiritual journey that just never ends. And I think you just get better and better at it. So, that's amazing. And thank you so much. And I think about you. I think that what's beautiful about your journey is when you came to me, I told you that a strict diet plan from a doctor, because I have a lot of people that have that from their either cardiologist or doctor. It's really a gift, because it is an offering back up to the Lord. And we just have to shift our mindset to, we can do hard things. And not only can we do hard things, but we can actually, that suffering is redemptive, and it's actually a gift for our body and soul. But it takes a while to shift over there. Takes a minute. So anyway, so thank you, Jenay. All right, Stefanie. Hi.
Hi. Well, similar to Jenay, my background, I came from, in 2017, a really bad case of food poisoning, which led me down to, I guess it's been 7 years now of IBS type stuff. And so dealing with a lot of restrictive diets. And just prior to that, it was 2005, right before I had my first child. I have 3 kids, been married 22 years. I went and converted to the Catholic faith. So I was away from it for a little while, but going through all of the medical issues was starting to bring me back closer. At the same time, I, since 2007, finished my degree in counseling, and I've been a therapist in the community, and wanted to start bringing the faith into my practice. So I started doing a scripture school program on the side. And after, the very last thing I did was go to a naturopath, a nutritionist, functional medicine nutritionist. So I finally got everything in line. But during that time, I also started going through perimenopause and the pandemic. So I put on like 20 pounds. So that was like a whole nother thing. But because of all the eating issues, I was so against starting another diet of some sort of restrictive type eating, since I had already been in that place. So I was searching on the internet and listening, and I listened to a podcast with Beth in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. But I'll be honest, I was skeptical as a therapist. I'm like, ooh, therapy, life coaching, like there's this, but it was like nothing I'd ever heard of before. And so I took the plunge and joined in April. And it's been one of the greatest gifts for me. I'm the crier in the group, so I'm trying to.
I do too. I cry too.
Okay. I'll keep it together. I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's just who I am. But Beth, your program has just been life-changing for me. I mean, so many things happened to me this summer, and I couldn't have gotten through it. And for me, having the foundation of your program, because I did lose like 15 pounds, or maybe it was 20. And I think had I not had that foundation, I don't know where I would be without the program, the coaching, the journaling, the support, listening. I love going back and listening to the recordings and everything else that you're doing. It's just been a game changer for me. And I'm very grateful.
Oh, Stefanie, I love it. It is interesting because the thought model that I teach that's wrapped around the reason cycle is CBT. It's based on cognitive behavioral therapy, but it's just kind of a different approach, and it is Thomistic. So it's something when I learned it, I was like a game changer. I was just like, oh my gosh, my thoughts actually create my feelings, create my actions, my thoughts create my results. Oh my gosh. It brings it to a very factual level. And as emotional women, especially most of us going through, something, it could be menopause, perimenopause, it could be just something, just maybe just your regular cycle. We need something to fall back on in a religious aspect. So that's wonderful. The other thing about you is you're a bicyclist. Biker, my husband is too. He bicycles a lot. Miles and miles. And so you were able to take the spiritual fasting and actually fold it into your very rigorous exercise routine. And my husband does too. And you're the one who bought a 25-pound bag of spelt flour.
I was actually searching. I haven't had any in like 3 weeks. And I was searching for some, and I'm like, I know there's a bag, there's something in my freezer. And I found like some, cause I make it and freeze it, but to help with just some extra carbs. Cause I couldn't follow everything to a T. I just knew, but I knew I had to tweak it because I was really listening to my body, and I can tell, when I needed a little bit more.
And I love that, because that's the point. It's the great experiment is what I talk about. We've got to figure out, I can't tell you exactly what to eat. I can kind of give you categories, and I can kind of tell you when and how, but everybody has to find out for themselves what they love and what they don't love, their runaway foods, stuff that they literally can't have in the house. And then the spelt bread, if you do want to do bread and water, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to do that, because it's actually low glycemic, and you don't have to, we're not having a loaf like Jay's brother-in-law or his friend. But it's great to have on bike rides and things like that. It's so much better than like a Kind bar or something that's manufactured with barcode. It just is. And you're going to notice that in your body normally. So I love that. I love how you figured all of that out, Stefanie. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Nikki. So I hope you're going to mention Nuke Chapey, because you're the one who actually put it on Instagram. And I was like, what? So go, Nikki.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki. I'm a teacher by trade and a mindset coach as well. Beth was actually my training facilitator in our cohort. So when I was debating the program, I knew that if I joined, like, she would coach me hard. And I really resisted joining. The thoughts were like, this is not going to be fun. I already have enough on my plate, pun intended. It's just too much. And I really only joined based off a $100 coupon off. And just the thought of like, maybe I'll just give it a try. I think I took the pressure off of myself that I'd have to get it perfect, that I'd have to be at the level that maybe people in the program were already at that point. And Nuka Chapi was definitely a great phrase that I'm so glad that you adopted, because what used to happen in the beginning of spiritual fasting was, if I ate something off protocol, let's just say there happened to be a Kit Kat, that's my, favorite chocolate, and I had a bar or I had a piece, then it was like, okay, well, I guess I can just have bread and pasta for dinner. I guess I can just eat what I'm not supposed to be eating, what's not on protocol for the rest of the meal, because I'm just going to give up today. So that idea was really helpful for me to just reshift my mind to say, you know what, I can begin again in this very moment. It's okay. I had the Kit Kat bar. I can say sorry to God. I can really go into what made me have it in the first place. Was I stressed? Was I anxious about something? Did I just not take the time to breathe and separate myself, which has been a great strategy from what's really tempting me, and doing the thought work? And so, that strategy has been really helpful. And so far, the program has been great. And I'm also in the membership portal, as you kind of indicated. And the reason I had joined that is because the thought that I had upon 12 weeks, which goes by very quickly in the program, is this is just the beginning. I'm just starting. And I've really been enjoying all the learnings that have been happening so far.
I love it, Nikki. Thank you. And Nunc Champi, it does mean for those of you, it's actually coined from Venerable Bruno, and it is I begin again with gentle repentance. So we fail and we just get right back up and say, I wonder, just get curious about it. I wonder how that happened. I'm so sorry, Lord. It's just the repentance, and then please, Lord, help me not fall into that again. And so we're always working on the great experiment, like what works, what doesn't work, but it's really outward towards others with miracles. So kind of that's the direction. The other thing I loved about Nikki too is that interesting when you were describing your husband, like you would come home and he was like, "Are we on protocol tonight? Are we cooking on protocol tonight?"
Yeah, you know what? Jenay kind of hinted at that, but the support of my spouse has just been another way of really growing closer. He'll ask, he'll really make a meal plan. Like everything in our fridge is on protocol. It's not even like there's no temptation there. Or if he'll come home with something and I'm tempted to be like, nope, not worth it. And so that level of accountability and the way that he's really cared has just been a next level way to grow our relationship for sure.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I really do think it elevates marriages for the most part. It can be a little bit hard. Stefanie and I both shared the non-drinking. Like when we stopped drinking, our husbands were literally like, really? Like, and then my husband just kind of rolled with it then after a while. And then now on Friday nights, most of them, he doesn't drink. He's like, "Are we fasting tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, every Friday night." But it's just something I believe spiritually it does uplift your marriage, but some of these challenges just come into play because they just happen to have we have habits, and we have habits as couples, maybe not so good sometimes, right? And even Jackie, you prayed so hard for your husband to come into the church, and here he's coming in, and can you tell that just little story about the Stations of the Cross, because I think that's really sweet as well.
Yeah, I would love to share that. Thank you. So my husband was raised Southern Baptist. He's Southern, and I grew up in Wisconsin, Catholic, of course. And so he knew of my Catholic roots. And when let me just start by saying I stumbled we live in a remote area, a very rural part of Florida, which it was our weekend place when we both went remote for COVID and realized we weren't going back to the office. We moved out here permanently. So long story, I didn't have a church out here. I didn't know of any. And I ride a motorcycle. I was riding my motorcycle past a church one day and I was like, "There's a Catholic church over here. It's like 40 minutes from here." Anyway, I went to mass, and this was about a year ago. And it just immediately I was home. Like I felt home. I was home. And so my husband is very encouraging. And I would say, "You want to come with me?" Nope, he didn't want to come with me. But there was an autistic boy at the church. I call him a boy. He was in his 30s, and he would walk me out to the car after church, after mass, and he'd give me a kiss and a hug. And I told my husband that, and my husband's like, "No, I'm coming to church." So he started going to church, and the church community welcomed him in. But anyway, he knew. So me going through Lent, specifically the fasting in Lent, I loved it. I went to confession for the first time in 25 years. Like all these things were happening for me. And I was doing Stations of the Cross on Hallow, and at our little church, they were doing it on Friday afternoons at like 3, but I work. And so it's hard to get there. And the next nearest church is an hour away. So anyway, I was just sharing with him, "Oh gosh, I wish I could do Stations of the Cross. Like I love that. It's just the best. It's the best story no matter what time of the year." Anyway, he ordered these little plaques and he put Stations of the Cross in for me. We have a 4-acre property all across. And so Saturday mornings I get out there with my coffee and it's like, it's my Jesus time. It's like just my time. Anyway, so it was after that he decided that he was going to convert, and he announced that to me this past summer. He said, "I think I'm going to convert." And so he had done all that for me without even being part of the faith. And then we were hit with Hurricane Idalia recently, and we've been here 15 years. I've never seen this kind of damage with trees. We had 11 huge trees down, like 100-foot trees, and it knocked out about 100 feet of fence and all over. We were safe, thank goodness. But the whole yard is covered with trees that are down in tree limbs, big tree limbs. Not one Station of the Cross had even like a leaf on it. They were completely untouched. So Stefanie, I can cry with you here on this one. Like that, if that's not God, I mean, we were so lucky. Anyway, so that's the Stations of the Cross. And he knows that he'll come out once in a while on Saturday mornings and he'll say, well, I'll do number 5 with you. I'll do 7 or 8 with you. So
That's so
we're
sweet.
getting there. We're getting there.
I love it. Oh my gosh. That is so amazing. You guys, all of it. Spiritual fasting is a challenge and it's a journey, but it's just amazing. And I thank you for sharing your stories. And if you had a chance to see Sister Dee Dee, I mean, some of the things that I picked up from her that I just thought were so sweet was in adoration, use me any way you want. I'm your girl. Okay, that I'm going to take adoration. And God knows what's going to happen with that. Okay. And then she says, it was so fun serving the poor as a doctor. What kind of a thought is that? That's amazing, right? That is a true hunger for God. And then she said that our world is spiritually starving and our souls generally are poorly fed. And so spiritual fasting takes care of all of this. And she also talked about hydration and exercise, and that she eats small and prays big. So the whole Delay and Pray program, it works. It's not easy, but it works. So I just thank you for coming on and sharing your stories, not only about the weight loss, but the miracles and the sacraments. And you all came in though, and you did it. Like you did the work. You came in, and that's why it's pricey. So you'll do the work. And then I coach you and I just coach your little socks off. So we're going to get those thoughts into line, like where they need to be, because it's really important that we keep our emotions under check. So I hope everyone had a wonderful time tonight. The last course of the year does begin on October 2nd. It's the last one, and doors really don't open for purchase until next Monday, which would be the 25th. Also another bonus box. We've got, I wish Sky was here, but we have the mug that's going to be in the bonus box, and then the He Must Increase, I Must Decrease, literally. And of course you get a printed notebook. It's spiral bound. I'll just show you mine. Mine's in a binder, kind of hard to see, and then a new thing, sacrifice beads. It's only for the first 25 people starting tomorrow or starting right now. But I ordered beautiful white wooden ones from the Dominican sisters out of the UK this year. And they all spent all last weekend making them, and they're shipping them over to me. And we've had this conversation over Etsy. You know what? This business, this whole spiritual fasting thing, God just invites people into my life. It's just so beautiful. So these are really old ones, and I use in my pocket, and I just pull one whenever I have like a craving and I don't eat it, or I do something. It's also like a decade of rosary. So, and then of course the sales sticker that says, God loves you just the way you are, because that's the thought that you need to start with. So we've got this spiritual fasting bonus box, the starter kit, ask questions, whatever you want to do. Anyway, we sold out for the last course. So hopefully, we'll do it again. So don't delay, get in here and be one of the first 25 to get all your free stuff. So anyway, thank you to all the fantastic guests. Thank you to all of you guys as clients. It has been a joy to coach you. It's been the highlight of my life. So, and I'll see you tomorrow, coaching noon, all of you. All right. God bless everyone. And email me if you have a question. I would love to answer. My team and I will get on it. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in the course. Take care. God bless.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with these amazing clients who are living out the scripture in John 3:30. This is the scripture of my course, and that goes like this: He must increase, but I must decrease. I am giving you a glimpse here into what happens with spiritual fasting when you jump into it with all your might. Yes, you decrease, you lose the weight, but what you also end up doing is not only decreasing in size, but increasing in your faith and learning to glorify God in everything, especially adversity, because there's always going to be adversity in your life down here on earth, especially with weight and health struggles. We might as well learn how to do hard things and offer up all of that pain to God for both His intentions and ours. This is called redemptive suffering, and we need to use it. I mean, really think about it. If you're ready to start to spiritually fast, then join the Delay and Pray program now. You will learn so much and lose that extra 20 pounds you've always wanted to lose before Christmas Day. Now is the time to start. And losing the weight and better health, That's just the side benefit because you'll lose the weight for sure, but way more than that. Christmas Day will mean so much more to you now. Hurry and sign up for the wait list because the doors open for purchase on Monday, September 25th. This is the last course of the year and it is totally worth the money. The course actually begins on Monday, October 2nd, and I can't wait to meet you. I'll see you in there. I hope this podcast is inspiring for you. If you think a friend could use the information, please share it and subscribe, leaving a 5-star review if you would, so others will hear the great message of Catholic fasting and learn to fast off sugar, flour, and alcohol, especially on Wednesdays and Fridays this year. Have a great week, my friends. Keep praying and fasting, and I will talk to you next week. May God bless you and keep you always. If you are interested in learning more about spiritual fasting and permanent weight loss, then come join my course, Delay and Pray, a 12-week guided course for weight loss through spiritual fasting. You won't go through it alone either. I will be there to coach you every step of the way. This is a group coaching program where you are part of an amazing community of like-minded Catholics who have the same goal as you, to bring about miracles while losing that weight permanently through spiritual fasting. Your purchase includes an online course detailing what spiritual fasting is, how to do it, and all the tools you need to get you the results you're longing for. Head over to my website right now at thecatholicfastingcoach.com and get the details on how to join. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and LinkedIn to always get the latest daily information to help you keep fasting, my friends. Can't wait to see you in there. May God bless you and keep you always.